Hey everybody, welcome back to Tie Guy, the sports guy. Thank you so much for the ladies and gentlemen who've watched the other three videos. I really appreciate the views. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to check me out. Please, again, spread the word. Like, subscribe, share, add. Please tell everybody about me. I'm just a sports nut. I love sports, and we're gonna get right into it. We're going to talk a little bit of the NFL draft and some misinformation going on. And also we're going to talk about baseball and fantasy baseball and also some injury updates and when guys are supposed to come back off the now called IL. Used to be called DL back in the day, but they've changed it, so on the injured list. So first things first, we're going to talk about the fantasy baseball season / baseball season. We are going to talk about the guys who've overachieved so far, guys who have hit the ceiling plus some guys who you didn't expect to be where they're at. Stat-wise, baseball-wise, how well they're doing and so forth and so on. The first guy we're going to talk about is the pitcher from Baltimore, John Means. He's had a great April so far. He's pitching way above his head. I'm sure he's made some improvements. He has been the Orioles ace for the last couple of years. Right now, if you're in fantasy circles, he would be a great guy to trade, to get to put in a trade package together for somebody a little bit more elite. Somebody a little bit more with a higher ceiling, maybe like a Jack Flaherty up there, or if you really want to go for it all, maybe a Lucas Giolito with him cutting his finger somehow on a beer can. And by the way, somebody buy that man a beer opener. Gosh, man, it's okay to drink, bro, but just do it the right way, man. No, how to pop a top, dude. So, I mean, anybody knows that. Come on, bro. So, next guy we're going to talk about is Mercedes from the Chicago White Sox, or DH. Obviously, nobody expected this guy to be in the major leagues this year. The White Sox had a couple of injuries, so he came up. He's been just absolutely smashing the ball. Right now in fantasy circles, he's one of the top dudes. He's in the top 20 in any league you're playing in. Right now, I would just hold on to him. I think this is real. I think this is legit. White Sox just breed young, good hitters. That's what they do. They have a good eye for talent, so I'd hold on to this dude. I wouldn't trade him. Or unless you get a trade offer you can't refuse. I mean, somebody in the upper echelon like a Mookie Betts, a Juan Soto, maybe a Mike Trout if you want to do something like that. But other than that, I would hold on to him. If you're in a keeper league, I would definitely hold on to him, just kind of see what he does. And the other reason is too, because they're in such a deep lineup. The guys who are in deep lineups you want to hold on to, you want to keep because they're always going to produce. They may go 1 for 4, 1 for 6, whatever the game situation is. But they might have that really clutch double, triple, where they have a couple RBIs, 3 RBIs, and then maybe somebody behind them gets them in. So you might have a bad batting average stat line, but you're going to get a little slugging percentage. You're going to get some runs. You're going to get some RBIs. So it's definitely a good thing to have. The guys who are in a deep lineup, you definitely want to keep. You definitely want to have. Don't trade those guys away. This would be a perfect example of a guy in a deep lineup who you do not want to trade away. Next guy we're going to talk about is Tyler Nyquin. I hope I said his name right. He is way overachieving right now. Nobody expected him to be where he's at. He's 30 years old. If you've seen his career, watched him at all, he was with Cleveland before. He didn't do a whole lot with Cleveland. Cleveland had a logjam in the outfield, but it wasn't because they had a lot of guys who were good. It was because they had a lot of guys who weren't good. And they were trying to figure out the pieces, how to put them together, all that stuff. Now he's playing for Cincinnati. He's basically what their vision was a fourth outfielder. He's playing right now because he's swinging such a hot bat. Cincinnati did not expect him to be this way. Right now, if you have him on your fantasy baseball team, trade him. Trade him, trade him, trade him. He is not going to be hitting like this all year, folks. He doesn't have a track record. He's not much of a hitter. He's 30 years old. At 30 years old, you're in your prime, but he's not going to sustain this. I guarantee you, I promise you that. Trade him put him in a package, put him in a nice deal for somebody who's a better hitter, more complete hitter, somebody who's got a nice track record, somebody you can get. Right now, he's going to be overvalued, overranked. Maybe get somebody in who is struggling possibly. Maybe somebody you've had your eye on right now be a great time to pull the trigger on it. What my next section too we're going to talk about is guys who are struggling, some guys you might want to look to trade for because they're only going to get better by their track record. So, but this is one of the dudes who, if you can, trade them, get somebody more valuable, get somebody with a good track record, get somebody who has a higher upside. Put him in a package. This would be the perfect guy to do. There's always a sucker out there. You just got to find the sucker. The next guy we're going to talk about is Jake Mcgee, closer for the San Francisco Giants. He's had a wonderful, wonderful April. The Giants had a couple guys who they were thinking about putting a closer at the beginning of the year. Jake McGee won the job, so great job. I mean, he is proving why he won the job. He is right now the second best closer in all of baseball, behind another guy who we're going to talk about later, who's been an overachiever too as well. But for the same reason, we're going to talk about this guy. He's in the same boat as McGee with all this stuff. But San Francisco Giants, he is one of the best closers in the league right now. He is closing every game. He didn't get a hit off until his 5th game of the year, so his stuff is good. He's up where he needs to be. He's back. He has closed before, so this isn't a role that he hasn't had before. He does have a little bit of a track record as a closer. I'll hold on to him, keep him. He's going to keep getting saves for the Giants. The only advice I would say, watch the Giants team, see where they're at in the trading deadline, is with the Dodgers and Padres. The Giants are probably going to be shooting for the wild card if they make the playoffs. If they're there, if the Giants are in it, definitely hold on to him. If not, he's somebody I would trade. I would try to get as much value as I can at the trading deadline if he's going to get traded by the Giants, because once he loses that closer role, it's going to have a huge dip in his fantasy stock. So just keep an eye on that. Prepare for that. Kind of keep your brain thinking a little bit, like how you can do it, what you can trade him for, what value he has. Maybe also package him up for a better closer, maybe like a Aroldis Chapman, somebody who's going to be a solid closer the whole year. So and there's another guy I'm putting here, but I want to say it later. I don't want to say it just yet. I don't want to give away one of my overachievers, but I'm just gonna wait on that one. But you'll see the other guy, and you'll understand why I say the next name or the name after here pretty soon. So the next guy I'm gonna talk about is Joe Musgrove. If you are a San Diego Pirates fan right now, San Diego Padres fan right now, you are on cloud 9 with this guy. He is a local boy. He is pitching incredible. Last night he had a little bit of a hiccup, but that's okay. The Dodgers are so well balanced; they can hit any pitcher, anytime, anywhere. So going against the Dodgers is never a fun time. It is a challenging time. You got to be perfect on every single pitch. That's a lot of pressure for a pitcher to have. Other than that, he's been great through the first no-hitter in the Padres history, which is awesome. So local boy, first ever. I mean, that's a dream come true for him. So that's phenomenal. That's awesome. That's why you work hard. That's why you do what you do. That's why you make sacrifices, all for that right there, for that 10 minutes of glory. And he definitely deserved it, and he achieved it. So congratulations to that man right there. Now, to no surprise to a lot of people who follow baseball, he was in a terrible organization with Pittsburgh, got traded to San Diego, which was a great move for the Padres. They loaded up on pitching this year. I talked about it in my couple of videos here. I'm not going to go too in-depth on all that stuff, but definitely an overachiever in fantasy baseball this year so far. I would hold on to him. San Diego's got a great team. They got an offense who, if he does have a bad start or two, who can pick him up, who can still give him the win. He's going to give you high strikeouts, high K through 9 innings, all that stuff. His whip is pretty good so far. His ERA is really good so far. So, he checks every box that you're looking for in a starter. And the best thing is, too, he's going to be a 3-4 guy in San Diego. He's not going to be a 1-2 guy. So he's going to see guys who are lower in the rotation guys, which is great for him. That's going to give him more opportunity for more wins, which is one of the categories in fantasy baseball. So that's going to be a huge thing for you. So if you got him, it wouldn't surprise me if you see him 15, 16 wins this year, just because, number one, he's pitching so great, and number two, he's facing a lower tier of pitching. He's not facing the Kershaws or the Buehlers that you're looking for when they play the Dodgers. So that's going to be a really nice thing for him to have. So next guy we're going to talk about is Kris Bryant. Kris Bryant is, no doubt in my mind, one of the most talented guys in baseball. He's been an overachiever so far, but mainly because he's been healthy. Kris Bryant has always had talent. He's always been a good guy. He's always had an MVP type of bat. The thing is with Kris Bryant is you don't know when he's going to get hurt. You don't know when that injury bug's going to bite him in the butt. You don't know when it's going to come up. Right now, Kris Bryant is playing at the best level he's played in 3 or 4 years. It would be a great time to trade him for as much as you can get, because there's somebody, like I said, there's always somebody in your league who's going to overvalue these guys, and you're going to be able to get somebody even better than Kris Bryant. This would be a great guy because where he's at in the third baseman. Maybe try to get Nolan Arenado right now. Maybe try to get Anthony Rendon, who's coming off the injured list here pretty soon. Maybe get one of those guys, or maybe he's got outfield eligibility too as well. So maybe go after a stud outfielder. Maybe go get a Mike Trout, who's missed the last 3 games because of elbow contusion. Maybe go get a Mookie Betts. Maybe go get a Juan Soto, who's on the DL right now. Maybe get a nice little package for him, and then trade him up for an upper echelon guy. One of the top 5 guys at the position. I mean, I know it's gonna hurt you short term, but long term, looking at for the rest of the year, it's gonna be a great move because again, we don't know when he's gonna be injured. We don't know when he's gonna get that injury bug. We don't know how long he's gonna stay healthy for. Is he gonna play 140 games this year, 160 games this year? We just don't know. That's a risk you're gonna take with Chris Bryant on your roster. You're better off trading him for somebody who you know is gonna play, who's gonna be consistent, somebody who's an upper tier, upper echelon guy. Because right now is the time to trade Chris Bryant. Next guy we're going to talk about is Shohei Ohtani as a hitter only, not the pitcher. Hitting right now, he's absolutely crushing. He's absolutely raking. He is the real deal. He's an overachiever so far by his ranking. Do not trade him. Do not even take offers for him. Keep him on your team. He is in the deep Angels lineup, hitting either in front of Trout, behind Trout, whatever you want to talk about, behind Rendon, in front of Rendon, whatever. If he's hitting number 2 in front of those 2 guys, if he's hitting number 4 behind those 2 guys, however Joe Madden wants to do the lineup, keep him, hold him on. He's going to keep breaking. He's going to keep doing his thing. He had a great spring training, and it's rolled right into April. He's a legit hitter. He's going to do his thing. He's going to hit for power. He's got a little speed on him. He's going to get RBIs, runs, everything. So overachiever by rankings, yes. Overachiever in baseball, in fantasy baseball players' minds, absolutely not. So hold on to him. Don't even the guy offers you a world for him, don't even take it. Just leave Shohei on your utility, let him keep hitting, let him keep crushing. That's what he's doing. So next guy we're going to talk about is Tyler Mahal. So Mahal. I know I butchered that name. Sorry, bud. He's starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati, he was the guy who a lot of people thought would be a breakout year for him this year, and he's proven them right. Cincinnati has a great pitching coach that he's brought out the best in every single person this year, or every single person that he's ever dealt with. What am I looking for? He brought back Sonny Gray from the dead when they got him from the Yankees. Their pitching coach is phenomenal. He figures out what's wrong with people and he gets the best out of them. So that's why the Cincinnati Reds have had such great pitching over the last 3 years. He's the main source for it. And Tyler is the next guy who's in line, and he's got the great stuff. He's got a high K per 9 rating. He's striking out guys left and right. His ERA is doing great. His WHIP's doing great. So he hits every category you would want. Might be a little tough for the wins this year for him. I'm not too sure. They play in a really tough division. Cincinnati isn't exactly the top tier talent in that division, so he'll get some wins. He'll probably get you like 10 or 12 wins, which is great. But the categories he's really going to help you out in a lot is going to be the WHIP, the ERA, the Ks, and the K per 9 innings. So he's doing a great job with all that over there for you. All right, so the next guy we're going to talk about, this guy is a definite overachiever. This guy, he came to Seattle in a trade from San Diego last year. One of the more unknown guys, but he's got a great stick. He hits over 300 every year. Just didn't have a whole lot of power in San Diego. That also happens because San Diego, it's a very prestigious pitcher's park. Not really a hitter's park, but I mean, if you ask Fernando Tatis and Eric Hosmer and Machado and Grisham right now, you'd probably think differently. But this guy came in a trade from the Padres to Seattle, Ty France. He's going to get lots and lots and lots of at-bats this year. He hit over 300 last year. The only knock on him was he wasn't a power guy. Okay, cool. So what does Seattle do? Put him in the 2-hole. You don't need to hit, 40, 50, 60 bombs from the 2-hole. Get, 15, 20 bombs, get on, score 100 runs. It's good to go. He's going to hit over 300. He's got a great eye. He makes lots of contact. He's going to get you the OPS. He's going to get you on base percentage. Sorry, I just said the same thing basically. He's going to get you runs. He's going to get a couple RBIs here, a couple home runs here. But the big thing is where he's going to help you the most is the average. He hits for a high average, lots of contact, gets on. He'll probably swipe you a couple bags this year if you got stolen bases in there. So he's gonna be a nice guy. He's gonna get you lots of good stuff. He's gonna help your team's batting average like crazy. That's where his main focus is gonna be, and getting runs. So if you have Ty France right now, he's an overachiever. I wouldn't trade him. I wouldn't take any offers on him right now. I'd let him just kind of roll out. Or unless somebody again blows you away with an offer that you can't refuse, I would just keep him on my roster, let him do his thing. He's rated very high right now. He's hitting really good, and the Seattle offense is a little bit underrated. But other than him, they got a couple of nice pieces with him and Seager. So just kind of keep an eye on them. And if somebody, like I said, if somebody gives you an offer you can't refuse, take it. Next guy we're going to say is Mark Canha from Oakland. He's absolutely crushing it. He's a leadoff hitter this year. He's playing out of his mind right now. Oakland had a really tough start if you followed him. They just had a 13-game winning streak that just got broken over this weekend. He's a big part of it. Right now, just hold on to him. He's the real deal, Holyfield. He's going to get you hits. He's going to get you all the categories you could possibly want. He's tearing it up in Oakland. Don't trade him. Don't even field offers for him. Keep him. He's overachieving so far, but he's going to stay this way. He's going to be a top 100 player at worst in fantasy baseball this year. All right, so this guy I wanted to save just because the fact is this guy had a competition in San Diego. He won the closer competition. He was a stud closer before for Atlanta. Mark Melincon. He is the closer right now for San Diego. He's absolutely crushing it. This is the one dude who I think is going to, well, I shouldn't say I think, but right now he is the best closer in the league. He's done it before. He has a track record. So I said before, Mcgee for the Giants, who's had a great first month. If, like I was talking about, like I was saying, with the trading deadline, when it comes where the Giants are at, I would just kind of look, kind of see where Mcgee is, and see if he's a possible trade candidate, and then maybe I would try to package him in a deal for this guy right here. We know one thing with San Diego. Number one, they're going to be in it the whole year. Number two, this guy's going to be their closer the whole year. He won the job. Even if they trade for somebody, or unless it's like maybe somebody who's a huge name. And the only one I can think of right now off the top of my head is Chapman. He's going to be the closer the whole year in San Diego. So don't worry about it. Keep him on there. Me personally, if I had him on my team, I wouldn't trade him. I wouldn't take any offers for him. But there's somebody out there who might give you an offer that you can't refuse. Again, like if somebody comes up to you and gives you somebody like Jacob deGrom, I know that's not going to happen. I mean, it might. I don't know. But somebody offers you like Jacob deGrom for him, like of course you're going to say yes. You're going to take the best pitcher on the planet. But yeah, just stuff like that. Or maybe right now, if you can package up Jake McGee and another maybe nice stick, and maybe get this guy for the whole year, it might not be a bad idea. So, but it'd be better to do it now than it would be later, because once McGee gets traded, he's going to have no value for the closer roles. So those are the guys who overperformed for the fantasy baseball season for the first month. Now, this is a list of the guys who underperformed. The guys I'm going to talk about who underperformed, these also would be great trade candidates too. I'm not going to get too far in depth with that one, but I kind of went a little bit more in depth on the other side. But this one, I'm just going to kind of rattle off the names, tell you why, and then we're just going to kind of move on. Let's speed this up a little bit. Some of the underachievers here for fantasy baseball so far. The first one is Brandon Lau for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's got off to a slow start. Last year, he was in the top 2% for barrel rate. This year, obviously, he's not there. If you can get him in a nice trade, nice deal, he's going to be a guy who's going to come back, who's going to absolutely do his thing. He's going to get you 20 bombs, 80 RBIs. He's going to hit in the middle of the Rays lineup. So if you have a chance to grab him, why his value is very low, get him. Next guy is Yasmani Grandal, the catcher for the Chicago White Sox. Everybody kept saying he is the top fantasy hitter for the catching position, or number 2 or number 3, depending on how you look at it. With Real Muto himself and Salvador Perez, however you want to rank those guys, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, whatever you want to do. He's a guy you can probably get really cheap right now. He hasn't been hitting the ball at all. And again, the White Sox have a deep lineup. It's only a matter of time before he hits it, before he gets his numbers. So get him while he's cold, get him while he's low, get a nice deal for him if you possibly can. Next guy we're going to talk about is Travis DeArnold, the catcher for the Atlanta Braves. Last year, 2 years ago, when he got traded to the Tampa Bay Rays, he had a great season. Sorry, he's on the Atlanta Braves. I hope I said that right, but if not, Atlanta Braves. And then he signed with the Atlanta Braves in the offseason 2 years ago. He had a nice 2020. This year, he's gone off to an extremely slow start. He'd be the guy who I would target if I didn't have any catching help. He will, at the end of the year, be a top 10 catcher, absolutely. He's gone off to a slow start. Grab him. Get a cheap deal for him. Get somebody who's going to solidify your catching position. And if you're not 100% certain on him, I would grab him for a cheap rate and then grab another catcher too. Have 2 catchers so you can go back and forth, play the hotter catcher if you want to do that. Next guy we're going to talk about Kyle Hendricks for the Chicago Cubs, a starting pitcher. He's the race. He's their bulldog. He's their version now of Greg Maddux. He just had a bad start. He'll find it. He'll get in his groove. He's a very good pitcher. He's not going to be a high K guy, not a high guy. He's going to get you Ks for 9 innings, but he'll get a nice ERA. He'll get you a nice whip. He'll always keep the Cubs in the game. He'll get some wins just because the offense is so explosive. So Kyle Hendricks, if you can get him for a good deal, cheap price, go ahead and grab him right now because he will bounce back. Next guy we're talking about is Gleyber Torres, shortstop for the New York Yankees. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if anybody knows. I don't think anybody does. I think it's just mostly mental right now. He's just in his own head. Ever since he moved to shortstop from second base when the Yankees made that move and they lost Didi a couple years ago, he just hasn't been the same player. This offseason, they're definitely going to get a shortstop to replace him. probably move him over or either trade him for some value depending on what they want to do, and then he'll probably be back to Glaber old. Right now, if I was an owner of him, I'd probably just try to trade him for whatever I can get because his value is completely shot right now. He's not doing anything, just like the whole Yankees offense is. And on the flip side, if you're looking for a shortstop on the cheap, try to get him. If the guy who owns him right now, he might be just tired of him. The last 2 years, Glaber hasn't done anything. Hasn't gotten a home run yet this year. Hasn't done anything in the first month. So he might be somebody you might get for really cheap, and he might have really nice upside rewards this year. He might not. I don't know. It's just a guy who's 50-50. So just if you want to take a shot on him, take a shot on him. Maybe find a disgruntled owner and just go for it. So next guy we're going to talk about is a guy who shouldn't even be rostered on your team. It's Patrick Corbin. His fastball's now 2 miles an hour at least. He's a lefty. He never threw that hard in the beginning. They got him from Arizona a couple years ago as a free agent. He's just absolutely struggling. Usually at this point, I would say trade for the guy and try to get him for dirt cheap. I wouldn't even trade for him. He's got no value. If he's not on your waiver wire, I don't know why, unless you're in a super deep league. But this dude's got no value whatsoever. If he's on your waiver wire, just don't touch him. Just let him sit there. Just let him go fishing. So next guy we're talking about is Francisco Lindor. This guy, he was a super stud in 2018, 2019, 2020. He didn't do a whole lot. This year, he hasn't done anything at all so far, so I don't know what's going on there. He's got the big contract now, so maybe he's feeling some of the pressure. Big city, big contract, I don't know. But if you can get this dude on the cheap, grab him. Don't waste your time. Don't even worry about it. Just get him. Put him on your team. See what he can do. He was a top 12, top 13 pick in all the fantasy drafts this year. We know the talent's there. We know he's going to do it. It's just a matter of time for everything clicks. So if you can get him for dirt cheap, you can get him for the right price. Maybe, I don't know, Kyle Seager possibly. If you think, Seager is inferior to him or whatever you feel like. If you feel like, Lindor's inferior, or if you like Lindor's superior to Kyle Seager at short, maybe do a trade like that for him. Maybe Danbury Swanson, maybe something like that. Maybe you can get him and maybe get that nice package for him. That guy, maybe somebody else to get Lindor. So just depending on what you want to do. The next guy who I'm going to talk about has been a huge disappointment is Luis Castillo, starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. I just said that Tyler was having a great season so far. Luis Castillo's had a really rough season so far. He's just gone off to a bad start. He was their ace, maybe too much pressure for him. He's never been the ace before. He was kind of ace by default because Sonny Gray, if he was healthy, he would have been the ace. They lost Trevor Bauer to the Dodgers this offseason. So he was the ace by default. He's had a little tough run, but he's got the good stuff. He's going to bounce back. He's in a good ballpark. He's got a team that can hit behind him, so he'll definitely get some wins. He'll definitely do some great things, but it's just been a struggle so far this year in April for him. But if you can get him on the cheap, man, go grab him. He'd be a guy who would be an ace in your staff, and he might be a good 2-3 pitcher to have. If you got one of the elitists on there. If you got a Cole, DeGrom, or Giolito. Next guy we're going to talk about is Clint Frazier. He came out of the gate super cold. He's been cold all month. If you got him, hold on to him. Just let it ride. I know it's cold right now, but so is the whole Yankees offense. It doesn't matter who you look on that team; they're not hitting. DJ LeMahieu, Clint Frazier, their catcher Gary Sanchez ain't hitting. Glaber Day ain't hitting. They don't have Luke Voigt, who's on injury right now. I mean, just nobody's hitting for that team. So just be patient. It's going to happen. It's they're going to hit. Once they all hit, they're going to be having 13, 14 runs a game. So just hold on to Clint Frazier. If you can get him for dirt cheap, because you might be able to right now, maybe trade him for Michael A. Taylor, who's a little on the hot side, on the upside right now. So maybe something like that might work for the deal. Next thing we're going to talk about is Tommy Pham. I think Tommy Pham is done personally. If I had him, I would just drop him off my baseball team. He always has some kind of injury issues. He got stabbed being at a strip club for some reason. I guess 2020 wasn't weird enough for that dude, so he decided to go get stabbed at a strip club for whatever reason. So whatever. Adding on to the pile of crap that 2020 was for that dude. So he always has calf issues, calf injuries. He has another calf thing going on right now. So honestly, I would just dump him. I think he's done. I think after this year or next year, whenever his contract ends, he won't be re-signed by anybody. If he does, he might be like a fifth outfielder or might be a spring training invitee. But yeah, I just wouldn't put any stock in that dude at all. I wouldn't even try to trade for him. Another guy who's under the radar right now is Matt Chapman. He's not hitting a whole lot right now. Some of the A's are, some of the A's aren't. Matt Olson's on fire right now, so Matt Chapman is not. Everybody keeps saying Matt Chapman might be an MVP candidate for fantasy baseball. I don't see it personally, but if you can get him for cheap, if you can get him for a good deal, I would definitely get a deal out there for him. You know, maybe if you need an improvement on your third base, I would definitely do it. At the end of the year, he'll probably be a top 12, top 10 third baseman in that division. So if you have a deep league, he might be a guy to have. If you're like a 10-man league, 12-man league, he's probably somebody I would want as my third baseman, but I wouldn't, you know, go out there and offer the world for him, to be honest with you. So, all right. So those are the guys who are doing really good, and some of the guys who are underachieving. Just going to give some really quick injury reports. Mike Moustakas is going to be back. He's going to, when he's eligible, he's going to be back in the lineup right away for the Cincinnati Reds. Noah Syndergaard threw last week in their spring training ballpark, so he's back. Most likely his target date to come back and pitch for the Mets is going to be June. Jake Odorizzi had elbow discomfort this weekend, got pulled after 5 pitches. So that kind of sounds like the Tommy John trail, but we'll see what happens. Let's see. Luke Voigt is to take BP this week in Scranton for the Yankees. Johnny Cueto is going to miss another start because of his lat this week, so he's on the comeback trail. He shouldn't miss more than one more start. Chris Sale is back in Fort Myers throwing. Nate Pearson is about 2 weeks away. He's doing full stuff right now. His groin is 100% healed. George Springer is set to make his MLB debut tomorrow on Tuesday. Trey Turner got hit yesterday, just a small contusion. He should be back. No worries there. Christian Yelich, the Brewers franchise player, got a back MRI. No structural damage. No timetable was set, though, for him to return, which is extremely scary if you're a Christian Yelich owner right now. That's a huge red flag. And Lance Lynn is coming back this weekend to throw, so from his injury. So those are all the injury news updates here for the Major League Baseball. All right. We're going to switch to the NFL real quick. I know this video is getting kind of long. I'm going to make this super short. NFL draft Thursday. Everybody's going to be watching. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of fun. The draft starts really at the 4th pick, even at the 3rd pick a little bit because nobody knows who the Niners are drafting. Everybody's saying, like, if you watch whatever you watch, any different videos, any different sports program, NFL, ESPN, whatever you watch, however you do, Yahoo, whatever the experts say, nobody knows what the hell the Niners are doing. People say there's like 3 or 4 that say Spills. There's like a couple that say Trey Lance, and there's like 15 that say Mac Jones. In all honesty, the Niners right now are laughing. They're just sitting there with their hands crossed, just laughing because nobody knows what they're going to do. They have everybody in a shitstorm. They have so much misinformation out there. It is great right now if you're a 49er draft because no team has any clue what they're doing. It is crazy. I'm a huge Niners fan. Me personally, I really want to see Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields will bring a huge dynamic to that offense that nobody else could. But I think at the end of the day, because this guy, from all the reports, I think it's going to be Trey Lance. And that's just my opinion for whatever it's worth. I think that's who they're going to pick. I think they're going to let him sit behind Jimmy G, which sounds like it's the plan right now. Trey Lance, when he was in college, he was calling his own offensive line coverages where he was maneuvering them, telling them where to block, where to go. So, I mean, that's really great sign. I guess all the reports are that guy's got a great head on his shoulders. He's crazy intelligent, can learn everything, understands how to do all that kind of different small stuff that you need to know to be an NFL success in the NFL, excuse me, a quarterback success in the NFL. And then, so again, I mean, this is just gonna be a crazy draft after this. I think after the first 3 quarterbacks are selected, somebody's gonna reach, somebody's gonna dig into their bag, and it's gonna be a huge trade for the Atlanta Falcons. I think once we know who the number 3 quarterback's gonna take, you're gonna see Atlanta come with a trade. It's gonna be some kind of like crazy trade. It'll probably be either New England or Denver. That's where it makes the most sense. Denver needs a quarterback. They're stuck with Drew Lock, who apparently isn't very good from what they were saying. He's worked hard this offseason, big freaking whoopie-doo. Where were you 2 years ago when you're a rookie working hard? Where were you last year to work hard when you have the lowest completion percentage in the whole league? You know, like, come on, dude. Like, 2 years too late, bro. You got to step it up. You only got one shot at this shit. So, anyways, so we'll see what happens. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be lots of trades, lots of drama, lots of fun. So, but anyways, that is my video for the day. My name is Ty Guy, the sports guy. I hope I gave you a lot of good information about baseball, injury reports, fantasy baseball, a little on the football stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to bring my video up. I'm going to do a NFL mock draft here. I'm waiting until the last possible day to do it just because the fact is if there's any more trades in the first round, I want to be able to maneuver and see what's going on and also make the best educated guesses about who's going to go where, all the drafts. I'm probably gonna throw some big trades in there just because the fact is, like, at this point it's like, fuck it, like, what can I lose from that shit? I mean, just gonna go big with it. So I'm not gonna pretend like teams aren't gonna draft because I think that's not gonna happen because there's so much damn talent in this year's NFL draft. It just depends on, hey, if you want this guy, you got to go get him. So because somebody else is gonna want him. So, but that's probably what's gonna happen. So, all right, everybody, I'm Ty Guy, the sports guy. Please like, subscribe, share, add me. Please let the world know about it. If you're a sports nut like me, man, this is the show for you. It's going to have all the great information out for you. I'm going to keep you updated on the NFL and the MLB all year long. So, all right, everybody, have a wonderful Monday. Enjoy your day. Take care, and I will see you on the next video. All right, everybody. Bye.